What's up, humans, and welcome to another Psicoactivo. Happy Saturday, everybody. Saturday night. If you're out and about, please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Have fun. Don't get in fights. Just enjoy yourself. Going out is for relaxing, not for more conflict. So please enjoy yourself responsibly. Okay, so something that crossed my eyes yesterday is worthy of acknowledgement because I don't know if you guys remember, I've been pointing you guys towards this direction for a few months now. I've been talking to you about how serious scientists have been talking about UAP in a more serious fashion. Just 10 years ago, nobody could do that. Not in the military, not in science, not in academia, much less tech bros. And now things seem to have changed almost completely, a complete 180. In November, October, November, the one who started like this whole new movement of talking about this in a more open manner was journalist Creasy Newton, who has this brilliant podcast called Rebelliously Curious. We had to postpone our interview for April because she's helping Dr. Jack Valet get his interviews for his book. So she's going to need a little more time. But she started this conversation with an interview with Dr. Ragsdale.
But more back to your question about policy, I think it's more of a culture. We've got to have a culture in the federal government that is more open to edge science topics.
Yes, very much so.
To me, and then you can get rapid movement.
He used to be part of the Trump administration in the first term, and he used to be part of the Department of Energy and DARPA. And he's talking about UAP in a very open manner. And this was back in October. And then it started progressing after that. Now, less than a month later, we got that podcast that I've been talking to you guys about, the Ecosystemic Futures podcast, where Dr. Richard Banderich, Dr. Hal Puthoff, and Dr. Ana Brady Estevez speak about UAP-derived technologies as if it was already happening or real. And I did mention that it was very possible that we would start seeing big tech and companies with big money allocating some funds towards this. We saw that article from the Financial Times of Total Capital allocating a little money, billions, for alien-derived technology. We can see how Peter Thiel with Palantir took Representative Gallagher, who seems and sounded very knowledgeable on the topic. And he started making waves, and then he was snapped up just like that by Palantir. Now he has an important position in that company with that knowledge that he has.
Listen, I'm new to this debate. Like, I don't bring particular UAP expertise, but I've done basic research. I've probably done about 5 hours worth of research. So I asked what I thought were basic questions for people that are just modestly familiar with the literature. And they couldn't answer any of those questions. I mean, they're suggesting that there's nothing that the government has done from 1969 when we shut down Operation Blue Book to when we set up some of these new programs, ATIP. I'm sorry, that doesn't withstand basic scrutiny. I do not believe that at all. And then I asked about the Malmstrom incident in 1967. They seem not to know what the hell I was talking about. And then finally I asked about this memo that's been floating around out there, and they also seem not to know what the heck I was talking about. So the whole thing was incredibly confusing. I'm not sure we got any closer to the truth. And listen, I appreciate this effort to destigmatize the discussion, but until the Defense Department starts speaking in simple and direct, plain English and answering questions, we're just going to spin everybody up, or we're going to be spinning around in circles. So I left very frustrated, and I'll stop here. But though I started off as a casual sort of observer in this whole UAP debate. Now I'm so pissed off that I'm not going to let it go until they answer my question.
So that means that tech companies are very much looking into this already. We have also Jake Barber coming forward with Mr. Alex Klokus funding Skywatcher. But there's a story that we hadn't heard before of Mr. Mark Pincus, who is the founder of Zynga. Zynga is an American company that is a video game developer and publisher. They are known for their social video game services, and they were founded back in April 2007. This guy was in a podcast called All In, where they talk about a bunch of billionaires who speak about different things regarding big tech and upcoming projects, upcoming companies, startups that are exciting and all that stuff. And Pincus was asked, because now it's like a basic question that they do on this All In podcast. They asked him about UAP, and to everyone's surprise, Pincus was approached by someone who used to work for the DoD, and they spoke about UFOs. So I'm going to leave you the clip right here of Pincus talking about UAP and how people are starting to make the connection. They think that Skywatcher was pitched to him, but he didn't take it. Presumably, Alex Klokus was the one who said yes. But Pincus is not saying that it's not real. He actually doesn't know what to believe. And what they tell him is very interesting and even related to the New Jersey drones. So pay close attention. Here is Mark Pincus from Zynga in the All In podcast talking about UAP and how he was approached. Here it is.
We've been talking to all the guests about UFOs and UAPs.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner.
You have a point of view on UFO UAP phenomena?
I do. And I guess everyone else has too, so I won't be that weird an outlier. So first of all, I'll just say, I don't believe in UAPs, UFOs, and I don't not believe in them. And I'm just curious about it. And I've had this theory that something is going to happen, that we're going to break our current understanding of physics theory and our physics laws. And so I've been looking for that moment. And one of those is around the UAPs. So I've been more and more curious and digging more and more. And I started working with a friend who made the movie Icarus on the idea of like a Netflix docuseries. I thought it should be funny and have somebody like a Larry David kind of character narrating it. But he said, maybe. He came back to me. He's making a documentary about the fentanyl crisis and how China has dumped it here. And he said, you've got to meet with me and this guy. While he was working on that, he was interviewing a former DoD contractor who had worked for them for decades and said, I've got a lot on fentanyl, but I have this whole other thing to show you about these UAPs. And he'll just tell you his claim. So they came and met with me, and we had to meet outside and put our phones in Faraday bags.
Faraday bags.
So it was a good setup, if nothing else. And he claimed that in running these war games for the Defense Department, it inadvertently was summoning these UAPs, these drones. And he had tons and tons of video of it and classified them. I'm just telling you what he told me.
Let me guess. All the drone videos look like they were shot on an 8mm 1968 camera.
Wait, hold on, Jason. Mark, just explain this. So the United States is simulating war games.
Yeah.
And what is it doing exactly that's causing these drones to show up?
He did not tell me what were the
games.
What were the exact triggers but he said different things would trigger a different one, and he classified them. And he said some of them were aggressive from an electronics and would take out electronics and communications.
Wow.
And he was interested, and my friend was interested in saying, okay, can you put up a couple people $1.5 million to recreate this and film this? And I thought about it. I even had him go meet with Reed and didn't move quickly. And then he went dark on us and stopped responding. And then some friends of mine went to a gathering at, and it was on multiple things related to this. And they said that this guy was there and that he summoned one of these. They kind of said it looked like a large drone. And my friends showed me some pictures that they took, which were it was at night and they were really grainy.
Come on, stop.
I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, so you can see the host's face and like this belief that he has over these UAP, and how Pincus even saw a picture of these alleged summoned UAP. And the name that was blurred, I would imagine that he said Esalen, maybe, I don't know. And maybe he asked for it to be removed. Who knows? But what's important here is that sea change that we've been talking about, it's becoming even wider than before. Because now, in podcasts that have nothing to do with UAP, people are now starting to talk about this. And now everyone is involved. And I tell you this also because I got another clip to show you from the Anomalous Coalition. Okay, so Miss Karen Austin, who's the executive director of the John Mack Institute, streamed a conversation on X with Dr. Peter Skafish, who is executive director at the Soul Foundation, and journalist Leslie Kane, who released that 2017 article about UFOs on the New York Times. And Mr. Peter Skafish is now talking about his own theory, which he calls a corporeal theory, that is trying to understand and get people to realize that this phenomenon also talks about actual physical bodies when it comes to NHI, because this is something that is still very controversial. But Skafish is an academic, he's an anthropologist, and obviously he's part of Soul, but he's not that vocal that often as Dr. Gary Nolan, for example, could be. And now that he's talking about this more openly, it means that it's now science, academia, and big tech talking about this in serious fashion. So, I mean, you can be as skeptical as you want. You can deny that something is happening, but it's really funny because people who are serious and are not supposed to even pay attention to this if it's not real are talking about this very openly now. What does this mean? I don't know. It just means, in my view, that it is progress, that people are starting to pay attention to these things, and that there is definitely a there, you know? So I don't know what you guys think about this. I'm going to leave what Peter Skafish said right here.
But I also want to understand the bodies of the occupants. Are there really physical, tangible bodies there? This is what people seem to report. Are they biological? Are they products of evolution? Are they are you looking at bodies that are products of a very advanced synthetic biology? So maybe they came out of evolution, transcended it. Are these, as some people think, something like beings with limited autonomy that are designed to manufacture to somehow service and operate a UAP vehicle? I know for people who are not familiar with UAP as a problem, these sound like extremely exotic and marginal and implausible questions. But we have to remember that as both the executive branch and the legislative branch, branches of the United States government have become much more forthcoming about the reality of UAP, we haven't had a real conversation about so-called aliens, or to use the sanitized term, non-human intelligence. And I want to really help initiate a new conversation about that, in which we can be frank publicly about the fact that there is something beyond the vehicles themselves, and really start to soberly, but also with a great deal of imagination, because we need that, start to think about the data and the evidence. And to kind of, close off this introduction, what I'm working on right now is something I call the corporeal hypothesis. Instead of worrying about origins, which we'd associate with the extraterrestrial hypothesis, the crypto or ultra-terrestrial hypothesis, the interdimensional hypothesis, whatever people mean by that, in different syntheses or combinations of those possibilities, I'm saying let's explore the hypothesis that there are tangible bodies here that are somehow associated with the minds or the consciousnesses that we know are behind and accompanying UAP vehicles. And I'm posing it as a hypothesis because I think that it remains a matter of controversy for researchers, journalists, experiencers, people invested in the UAP problem about whether there's actually something like a body accompanying these things. So that's my orientation. Those are my goals. That's a bit about my research and so on. So thanks, Leslie, and thanks for your patience, Karin.
Well, thank you.
It's pretty evident that there is like something definitely is cooking and happening. In the government, it was already confirmed that every single pick that we've reported here that was going to be part of the cabinet for President Trump has been confirmed. We got Kash Patel as FBI director, John Ratcliffe as CIA director, Tulsi Gabbard as DNI director, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and there's a couple more that I'm forgetting, but all of those people have already expressed that they would definitely like to declassify anything related to UFOs. And with Ana Paulina Luna's task force, and with everything that they're saying, and they're making big claims, I still don't know whether the so-called deep state is going to allow that, because if they still have that much power, I don't know if they would allow that. But I think that all of this conversation in science, academia, and big tech could persuade those deep state actors to maybe get something out of this personally and just let the information out, because if something can convince anybody to change their minds about like a really sensitive topic, it would be some type of a buyout, because us humans are very simple, really. If we do get set for life and our family set for life, we would definitely do anything for our family being set for life. And I know I can speak about pretty much everyone when I say this. Maybe there is some ulterior motive that they don't want to talk about. Maybe there is some type of event that is coming that is going to be big for all civilization. But the fact of the matter is that we still don't know. So the fact that the majority of people don't know means that even those within the deep state that are keeping stuff secret, if they don't know about that, they'll say yes to whatever payday they get. And I think this is what we're dealing with right now. Big tech is making a move with these legacy programs and aerospace companies, and they're gonna make stupid big offers for whatever secrets they can get. And if that happens, we're looking at an entirely different landscape when it's all said and done and when the dust settles. I still don't know what that looks like. I would like to ask you, what do you think that looks like? If we do get big tech to actually get a hold of all of this, how will that look like? And I'm not going to mention that name that we prefer not mentioning, but that dude is also balls deep into this. It's pretty obvious by now. If you don't believe it, just look at the many different reposts he does on X, so you can take a look, and he knows. Whatever that is, I don't know, but he knows. It's pretty obvious. So where is this going? Let me know what you think about this new development. This happened between yesterday and today, so I think this is pretty significant. I don't know if you do agree, but let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about big tech academia and science now talking about this very openly and so matter of factly. I didn't think I would get to witness this, honestly. So maybe you feel the same way I do. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get notified when a new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description, so take your pick. Thank you for your help. And you can also be a member on the members channel, and make sure you follow us on the KGRA website. We got all the interviews there. But that's it for me on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, don't forget, stay curious. Okay? Bye.